This evening, we have the pleasure of meeting Father Dan Harding. And so he will be talking about a little bit about his missionary work, especially in Chile. Anyone who wants to join in the conversation or would like to send a message or use chat, please do follow up. And if we don't get all the questions answered tonight, there will be an opportunity next Tuesday night to do the same. So good evening, Dan, and welcome.
Good evening, Trevor. Thank you.
So as I mentioned, you're a parish priest in Santiago in Chile. Would you like to tell us and tell those who are watching a little bit about what your parish is like and what's it like to be living there?
Yes, I'm parish priest of the parish of San Columbano. It's about 15 kilometers from the CBD in Santiago to the south. It's a socio-economically poor area. Maybe 25 to 30,000 people live there. There's three of us. Francisco, who's a Korean priest, associate, and Martin, a Fijian Columban priest, who works with me in the parish.
So when you talk about it being poor, could you give us some idea of what does it mean to be living in a poor suburb, a poor part of Santiago?
Well, we have a high rate of crime to begin with.
Okay.
A lot of unemployment, a lot of underemployment, not a lot of facilities. A lot of people drop out of school and get involved in drugs and crime, such as in our area. It's quite a big problem. The house that we live in, for example, it's a house about 10 minutes walk from the closest church. We have a 2.5 meter wall, solid wall around us with broken glass and barbed wire on the top. But every house has something like that because of the need, because of the high crime level.
So what is it, people, you mentioned drugs, are people looking for money and anything they can sell to get drugs, or what's the problem?
Drugs are a huge problem that have gotten worse over the years. Crack cocaine, it's come in the 90s. It's quite cheap, but drug addicts are constantly breaking in and looking for things to steal to be able to sell. When I come out of my house, out of the front gate, if I look to the right, it's only 6 houses away, there's drug dealers there. And there's always what we call soldiers, that's young men outside, part of the gang, protecting the house. And there's a huge mural of a young guy from the gang who was killed. Turf wars, looking at you. They have candles burning. For many guys who drop out of school and don't have a future, they get into gangs.
Okay.
And they end up that way, very sadly. Yes.
So you're saying like these drug dealers are living just down the street from you?
Yes.
And I mean, do you walk down that way or do you go, is it dangerous or?
Everywhere is dangerous at night. All our parish meetings, wakes, funeral wakes, visiting the sick, most of that's done at night.
Okay.
Unless it's very, very close, you have to go in a car
to
be able to drive home. You cannot walk home. Parish meetings finish 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's too dangerous then to walk home because of gangs and people who are drugged at that stage. And we can't leave our car on the street, so you've got to enter the car, and that's a danger point as well, because there's a lot of robberies where people wait for that and then they come into your property.
Sorry, when you say it's when your car is going into the property, is that what you said?
Yes, they come in, they can follow the car in.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
You can't, then you're stuck. So
So
Yes.
you need to have one of those gates that kind of close behind you or something when you get in.
Yes, we've looked into an electric door that you can press the button and opens and closes.
Right.
And so you have to be very careful.
Ah,
But at the same time, the drug dealers and drug families ask us to do funerals for them.
right. Yeah.
They shoot into the air. There's a lot of shots at night, Saturday nights especially.
What is that? Just a form of sort of celebration or something? Or what are they doing?
Bravado and
Oh,
making
right.
everybody frightened, really.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Don't mess with us,
Yeah.
the message.
You mentioned the church. I mean, do you have a big church or for that big parish, that big number of people, or how do you provide masses for them? You said there were 3 priests, yourself and 2 other guys.
Yes.
So what do you do on Sundays?
Well, we have 7 churches,
Oh,
7 Christian communities, and each of them is like a parish. Because there's no Catholic schools in the poorer areas, so all the sacramental programs are all done by the laity, by catechists, trained. So they're quite big operations. They're run by the laity, by their own councils. We participate and accompany them, but they make the decision. They raise funds for different projects.
right.
So that's at the chapel level, and then at the parish level, we also have a parish council, and we make a lot of decisions there as well. But it's not just us; it's communion with over 100 members of the laity who participate in many, many different ways and make a very big contribution.
Well, I mean, that seems to be a lot of people you have involved in lay leadership in the parish.
Yes.
And you mentioned something about formation. You said they were trained in some way. How do you do that?
Yes. Every year, the Archdiocese, which is broken into different zones, offers summer schools of formation. We live in the southern zone of Santiago, and at least maybe 200 of our people participate. We hire buses to bring the people there. It's in a college. There's about 50 different courses. So if you're going to hold any kind of position in the parish, whether it's an extraordinary minister of communion in the liturgy team, parish council, catechist, whatever, you have to have done courses, quite a few courses. Formation is very important. And we run courses in the parish as well. And our deanery also runs courses that we participate in as well with the other parishes.
That's rather amazing. When you say summer school, how long are you talking about? Is it a month or is it 2 weeks, or what's the length of the time? I mean, it seems to me to be a long investment of people to invest in that.
It's 2 weeks, and it goes 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Monday to Friday.
Right. Okay.
And throughout the Archdiocese, maybe 15,000 people participate.
Really?
Lay people. You know, we participate too. We do courses with the people as well.
But I was just thinking about, we're talking about the plenary council here in Australia. We're talking about, different types of ministry. Of course, we have some training programs, but I don't think we have anywhere near the numbers that you're talking about.
No. The Chilean church for a long time has had that model of lay participation, lay involvement, and formation, offering formation for the laity.
Right, okay.
And people like it. They really look forward to it as well.
So I presume this is free in the sense that is it paid for by the Archdiocese or something? Or how is the...
It doesn't cost a lot, but it's important that something is charged so that people value faith.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, we get people to just go for a few days and drop off.
Right.
So different churches raise money to be able to pay the fee. It's not too much, and the parish, we pay half the fee.
Okay.
On the commitment that they're going to complete the 2 weeks.
Oh, right. Okay. So it sounds like you've been doing quite a bit there. How long have you been working in that place? How long have you been in Chile, I suppose I'm asking, really?
All in all, around 25 years in Chile, and 3 years in San Columbano parish.
Right. Okay. And like are there other Columbans in working around in Santiago? What's the sort of situation there?
Yes. Well, Columbans have been coming up to 70 years in Chile. We've got a great history there, well known. We founded over 20 parishes. We start parishes and usually hand them to the diocese.
Okay.
In poor areas.
Yeah.
At the moment, we have 3 parishes in Santiago, and one in the north, in Iquique.
Iquique, my geographies of Chile is not too good. When you talk about that, I mean, how far away is that? Is it a flight or is it a bus ride? Or
it's 1,800 kilometers north of Santiago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In the Atacama Desert.
Right. Oh, yes. So
all my time I've worked in Santiago in 6 different parishes. So,
Dan, you're obviously an Australian. What part of the country do you come from?
I'm a Queenslander. Come from Brisbane. Grew up.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm one of 7 children. After high school, I became a primary school teacher with the state government. In those days, we had to do country service.
Right.
For my country service, 2 years, it was in an Aboriginal community called Lockhart River on Cape York, a very remote community. And I think my vocation was kind of began there.
Really?
Yes, where I saw the richness of living and working with other cultures and sharing with other cultures and learning from them as well. It's a very enriching experience.
So, sorry, how long were you up there again? How long did you work there?
2 years. 2 years.
2 years, okay.
Yes. After that, I kind of wanted a bit more. I became a lay missionary with palms.
All right, yeah.
Went to Papua New Guinea for 2 years, and then 2 years to Nauru, the Republic of Nauru. Came back, deciding what will I do. I had this strong desire, and I felt that God was calling me to be a priest, but a missionary priest, to live in another culture, to be part of another, accompanying and sharing.
So you've had a lot of experience in working kind of in other cultures. I mean, was it any advantage having worked amongst the Indigenous people in Australia and then, up in Papua New Guinea and Nauru? You went off to Spain to learn Spanish, I presume, did you? Did you go to Spain, or where did you go to learn your Spanish?
All of us Columbans who work in South America, in Peru and in Chile, and other groups too, we all go to Cochabamba, which is a city in Bolivia. Okay. Merino fathers have a Spanish language institute. It's a 6-month basic course.
Right.
It's a wonderful course. And so I went there at the beginning of 1991 and then returned to Chile after that and had to practice the Spanish that I learned in Bolivia. Yes.
So I heard that there's sort of like different kind of types of Spanish spoken in Latin America. Is that true? Is Chile better than some of the others, or not as well spoken, or what?
Yes. Well, just like in English, we all have different accents for different countries. Very noticeable. Well, every South American country has a different accent.
Oh, okay.
The Chileans have fame for speaking very fast using lots and lots of slang.
Really?
Yeah, they have lots of lots of slang, and so it takes a while to tap into that and really understand. They're very fast and even other Latin Americans say, "Oh, I can't understand the Chileans."
All right. But can you give me a little bit of the background or like the history of Chile in terms of, well, what sort of did the Spanish took over, I suppose, at one stage when they moved through the whole of Latin America? Were there other groups migrated into Chile? Could you just give us a little snapshot of the history of the people?
Sure. Well, of course, the indigenous peoples live there. The Mapuche,
Okay.
a well-known group to this day, south of Santiago, and in the north, Quechua and Aymara. The Incas conquered the Santiago area 70 years before the Spanish and imposed their culture, language. Then the Spanish came and founded Santiago. I think it was 1542. Santiago was founded. And until 1810, it was a Spanish colony.
Okay.
But it's always been a country of great migration. In the 19th century, Germans, lots of Germans came.
Okay.
English migrants. Then later on, Italians. Very big Croatian population from Croatia. Palestinians, very large Palestinian population. And in the last 5 years, we've had 400,000 Venezuelans.
Wow.
300,000 Haitians from Haiti who have migrated.
Haitians, how did all these Haitians get to Chile? I mean, my geography's bad, but I still think that's a long way away from, one's a long way away from the other. They didn't walk, did they?
No. Haiti had a very big earthquake in 2010.
Right.
That killed hundreds of thousands of people. And as part of the United Nations Blue Helmet peacekeeping force, Chilean army was a part of that. And Chilean soldiers went to Haiti.
Oh, right. Okay.
And they decided then to form this friendship and try and support Haiti. And so that's how Haitians began coming to Chile. Chile is an aging population now.
Right.
And they need migrant workers more and more.
So do you have any of these Haitians or Venezuelans in San Columbano?
We have over 1,000 Haitians.
Wow.
And 600 Venezuelans.
Yes, yeah.
A number of other nationalities. And really the whole face of Chile has changed. It's just changed enormously. Now, walking along the street, instead of just hearing Spanish, you can hear Creole, French from the Haitians,
Okay.
It's a massive social change. And as a parish, we're trying to reach out and work with them.
I mean, these people, all these people have migrated into your parish. I mean, do they have jobs, or are they part of the poor as well? Are they struggling to get places?
When the economy wasn't too bad, which was until last year, Chile was attracting a lot of migrants, 1.3 million out of a total of 18 million.
Wow.
But it's always very precarious work, particularly for the Haitians. They're quite easily exploited. They don't have the language. And
oh, that's right. Well, you were telling me, I think you were telling me a story about some guys who were working on a farm down south and they couldn't get back to Santiago. What was that? What was the rest of that?
A big group of Haitian men from our parish who we know and participate with us, and they went down south to pick grapes.
Right.
At the end of the harvest, at the end of summer. but because of COVID-19 and lockdowns, they're all stuck down there. And I know I've spoken through WhatsApp to 4 of them.
Yes.
Who are all sharing a room. They have food from a local church soup kitchen one day. The next way they have no food.
Wow. Wow.
They're hungry. So
Really?
I think that's fairly common.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're desperate, really.
Yeah.
The reason they're in Chile is to send back money to their families in Haiti.
Wow. Those families must be doing fairly tough if they have to rely on that sort of support.
Oh, yes. They're very poor.
Yeah. Well, Dan, we're just about come to the end of our session, our conversation. Thank you very much for your time. And for all of those who are watching, Dan is obviously a man with a great experience in Chile. So if you have any questions or comments of the conversation, please feel free to use the chat capabilities of the YouTube, and we'll look at the questions and be able to respond to them next Tuesday evening at the same time at 7:30. So thank you very much, and goodbye and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.